Hello, I'm Simon Whistler. You're watching TopTenzNet, and in the video today we're looking at the top 10 facts about Facebook. Facebook was launched on February 4th, 2004 as thefacebook.com by Mark Zuckerberg, who was studying psychology at Harvard at the time. 24 hours later, 1,200 students at Harvard had registered, and then within a month, over half of the undergraduate students were signed up. From there, Facebook expanded to other universities throughout the United States, and by August 2005, they became Facebook.com after purchasing the domain for $200,000. In September 2005, high school students in the United States could sign up, and then it moved overseas to universities in the United Kingdom in October. Facebook finally started to allow anyone with an email address to sign up in September of 2006, and since then it's grown to be an indelible part of world culture. Of course, things didn't exactly go smoothly for Zuckerberg and Facebook, but there's a whole movie dedicated to their problems. These are 10 facts about Facebook that you won't find in the movie The Social Network. Number 10. Crazy language settings. If someone leaves their Facebook open and you want to prank them, don't pose as them and post something stupid on their wall, because that could lead to some unintended problems. Instead, we recommend changing their language settings. For anyone who speaks English, there are two fun options that allow the person to use Facebook as normal, but things will seem a little bit off. The first is pirate, and it changes things to be more pirate-themed. For example, the wall is called the captain's log, and the post box asks, "What's troubling ya?" The smiley emoji says "yo ho ho," while the shocked face is "shiver me timbers." However, if that prank is a bit too lighthearted and you really want to mess with someone, then there is another language setting that turns all the text upside down. We tried it, and it can make you dizzy. To change the languages, go to Settings, then Language, and then to What language do you want to use Facebook in, and well, you're all set. Number 9. The most popular people on Facebook. The most popular person on Facebook is Cristiano Ronaldo, who is the star player of Real Madrid. But since he's so popular, we figure that you knew that already. Ronaldo also became the first athlete to break 100 million likes, and he is currently at 119.57 million likes. In second place is Colombian pop singer Shakira, who has 104.49 likes. And in third place is the bald-headed star of the Fast and the Furious series. Oh wait, you say that all the male stars of Fast and Furious are bald? Oh well, in that case it's Vin Diesel. He has 101.22 million likes. Number 8. Someone will always have more friends than you. Do you ever get the feeling that your Facebook friends have more friends than you? Well, according to statistics, nearly everybody has a friend who has more friends than themselves. The reason everyone has a friend who has more friends than themselves is because of a strange phenomenon that is known as the friendship paradox. How it works is, let's say that you have a small amount of friends on Facebook. You're bound to have at least one friend who is popular, because people with lots of friends are more likely to be your friend. Secondly, popular people are misrepresented when it comes to averages. By being popular, they spread themselves out when it comes to averages, and this affects probability. While this concept may be a little hard to wrap your head around, you can check it for yourself by seeing if any of your Facebook friends have more friends than you. Number 7. The yellow Facebook. One thing that made Facebook different from MySpace and other social media sites at the time was its uniformity. Everyone's Facebook page layout was similar, and you couldn't change the coding on it and add media like music or pictures, which you could do on MySpace. That uniformity is still prevalent today, and everyone has a very similar looking Facebook layout. Well, nearly everyone. The employees of Facebook have a more advanced version of the application that allows a yellow icon instead of Facebook's famous blue color. Mark Zuckerberg gave people a glimpse at the employee version in 2006 when he announced that live streaming video was coming to Facebook. In the video, Zuckerberg shows some features that have yet to be added, like being able to post slideshows and music from their music service. However, Zuckerberg said that some of the features on the yellow Facebook may never be made public. Besides that video, not a whole lot is known about the yellow Facebook, but it is thought that it is used by the upper echelon of Facebook in order to test new features. Number 6. Facebook friends. According to a study from Oxford University, the average amount of friends a Facebook user has is 155. The same study, which looked at a group of 3,300 students, also found that they only had 4 real friends. Why people have so many Facebook friends but very few close friends is explained by Dr. Robin Dunbar, who authored the study. He said, Social media certainly helps slow the natural rate of decay in relationship quality that would set in once we cannot readily meet friends face to face, but no amount of social media will prevent a friend eventually becoming just another acquaintance if you don't meet face to face from time to time. These findings are consistent with other studies on close friendships, like an American study from 2011 that found people, on average, only have 2 close friends, while another study from Dunbar found that on average people know up to 150 people, they are only intimate with 15, and only 5 of those 15 are trustworthy. Number 5, it can wreak havoc on your romantic relationship. Saying that things can happen on Facebook that can wreak havoc on your real life shouldn't be much of a surprise. Perhaps you've experienced it yourself, or you may have witnessed it happen to one of your friends on your newsfeed. If you haven't, humor websites have massive collections of them. Besides anecdotal evidence, there are studies that show that Facebook can add more stress to a romantic relationship. One study that was conducted on 2,000 married people in Britain found that 1 in 7 had thought about divorce because of something that had happened on Facebook. In another study of British people, they found that the people surveyed said that Facebook led to a fight once a week with their romantic partner, and 17% said a fight happened every day because of Facebook. Meanwhile, between 2005 and 2010, divorce courts in the United States saw a dramatic increase in Facebook being used as evidence. Finally, a study from the Loyola University Health System found that 20% of all divorce cases cited problems stemming from Facebook as part of the reason for the divorce. Number 4, MySpace had 2 chances to buy Facebook. In the mid-2000s, the monster of social media was MySpace. Facebook was started essentially as an imitator. Facebook just organized their pages so they were more uniform, and at the time it was more exclusive because you needed to have a university email address in order to get an account. These 2 aspects proved to be popular, and Facebook started to gain a lot of traction. As they started to amass users, MySpace had the opportunity to buy Facebook twice. In the spring of 2005, MySpace CEO Chris DeWolf visited Zuckerberg and his company. At the meeting, Zuckerberg offered to sell him Facebook for $75 million, and DeWolf turned him down. They met again in 2005, and this time Zuckerberg wanted 10 times his original offer, $750 million. DeWolf turned Zuckerberg down yet again. Just 2 years later, Microsoft purchased a 1.6% stake of Facebook for $240 million, giving Facebook a $15 billion valuation. By 2009, Facebook was getting twice as many visitors as MySpace. And what about today? Well, Facebook is the thing that everyone uses, and MySpace is something that you have to Google to see if it's still online. It is, by the way. At the time of this video, Facebook market capitalization is over $400 billion, and some people think it could grow to be worth $1 trillion in the next few years. Number 3, what happens to your Facebook when you die? Before 2015, when someone died, their family could contact Facebook with proof like a death certificate and request the deceased's Facebook profile be memorialized. Memorializing the profile removed the deceased from public searches and notifications like for their birthdays. Their memorial profile could only be viewed by Facebook friends that they had before they died. Nothing else could be done with the account, and some people found this upsetting. One example of this is Holly Gazzard, who lived in Gloucester, United Kingdom. She was stabbed to death by her boyfriend, Asher Maslin, in February of 2014. Her family had her Facebook memorialized, and this included memorializing pictures of Gazzard and her murderer. Obviously, the family were upset by this, and they repeatedly asked Facebook to remove the pictures. For months, Facebook refused to take down the pictures, and they finally only removed them because of copyright infringements. This type of dilemma prompted Facebook to allow users to pick a legacy contact. This legacy contact is able to pin a notice to your wall with information like funeral services. This also allows the person to respond to new friend requests, change your cover and profile photos, and archive your Facebook posts and photos. The one thing that the legacy contact won't be able to do is read your private messages, so don't worry about all those messages you sent professing your love for Nickelback. In order to add a legacy contact, you can go to your security settings, and it should be right there. When you set a legacy contact, the friend will be given information about the policy. Number 2, every minute that Facebook goes down, it costs them $52,583. One of Facebook's best qualities is that it is reliable. When was the last time you remember Facebook not being available when you logged onto it? It's so rare that when Facebook went down in 2014, people called 911. When it did go down in 2014, the magazine The Atlantic figured out how much money Facebook lost per minute by looking at their profits. They concluded that for every minute it cost them $24,420. This is over $1.4 million an hour and over $35.1 million in a single day. But this was 3 years ago, and since then Facebook's revenues have gone up, and in 2016 they made $27.638 billion. If the crash were to happen in early 2017, it would cost them $52,583 a minute, which is $3.1 million an hour and $75 million a day. Number 1. Everyone is connected by 3.57 people. The theory of the 6 degrees of separation was put forth in 1929 by Hungarian writer Karinthi in his 1929 short story Chains. In the story, the characters come up with a game where we should select any person from the 1.5 billion inhabitants of the Earth, anyone, anywhere at all. He bet us that using no more than 5 individuals, one of whom is a personal acquaintance, he could contact the selected individual using nothing except the network of personal acquaintances. There have been several attempts to prove the theory over the years, including one by famed psychologist Stanley Milgram, and all the tests have resulted in varying degrees of success. In 2016, on their 12th anniversary, Facebook released some data that showed that everyone on Facebook is separated by 3.57 degrees. This, however, does not pertain to the real world, and it is just the world of Facebook. That being said, even if someone doesn't use Facebook, all they need to do is know someone who does in order to be connected to the rest of the world, and God knows everyone knows someone who uses Facebook. As of 2017, Facebook has 1.86 billion monthly active users. That is almost a quarter of the entire population of the planet. So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already for brand new videos every day of the week. There's a button on the screen as well as below the video, so be sure to click on it and become a subscriber to this channel. Also over there on the right, a couple of other videos that you might enjoy if you enjoyed this one. And thank you for watching.